Ice Voices is an interactive, immersive installation where we invite the public to enter the artwork, to become part of the artwork, to slow down and instead of just looking at something on a wall, to literally go into the center and to try to imagine that you're there swimming in the St. Lawrence with these blocks of glass, and maybe if you're lucky you can hear what the glass is trying to tell us about climate change. I said it in French.
Yeah,
what the ice is trying to tell us about climate change.
Yeah, and it's multi-sensory because they are visual, they are audio, and there is also a tactile part, because the photos are embossed in braille. The sentences are the same that are said in the sound installation, and they are sentences from the IPCC report.
Ainsi que des impacts néfastes sur les régimes alimentaires traditionnels, la sécurité alimentaire, les valeurs esthétiques et les loisirs marins.
Human-induced change is already
The ice sounds come from the center of the room, so when that sound happened, I wanted to be so different, to be like radical alterity, like, oh, I don't know what's that. And if you only listen to the sentences, it says basically in three languages that we're doomed and that it's going super bad, and it's super anxious. Mm-hmm. But if you take an action and engage with the photos and the braille, some things happens, and I wanted that happening to be big and kind of mysterious and magical, and so that when you take an action, you get out of your anxiety, and something that's new, unknown happens, and you just have to bound with it, or learn how to live with that new thing that's created with your action.
Absolutely. Robin used the word altérité in French, which means otherness. It's like trying to...
Is that a word in English, altérité?
No. Otherness. But it's exactly what I also wanted to achieve, which is to imagine the world from a different perspective, or from a perspective of a non-human. And for me, of course, the St. Lawrence River is a being, alive, is a being, and the ice, I keep saying glass, the ice is part of the St. Lawrence, and we live so close to the St. Lawrence. It's the inspiration for much of my oeuvre. I love that word in French. And we see the changes. And I think everybody sees the changes. Everyone has smelled the smoke. Everyone has seen the flooding or the droughts. We are visual. We've seen it. But does it translate into action? And that's what we've created. We've created a tiny little action. You lift your hand and you touch the photo, which is, of course, taboo in most galleries. That little action will open a door to this other world. And it's kind of shocking. It's like, wow, what is that? It's otherworldly, isn't it?
I'm always fascinated when I get an experience that I don't understand. Either hearing a new language, seeing a thing I haven't seen before, and I'm really interested in bringing not translation but transposition of different signals and experiences, and to bring them a form. And it happens that my domain is sound and time, so I try to find ways to make some things that I don't understand, to give them forms and to make them appear and to be sensible. We have so many words to describe what we are seeing. We can have 20 different words to tell just nuance of red, but we have 10, 20, 30. The average person knows just a few words about sound. The description of sound, we can say loud, soft, high, low, but many people don't have that many words, and I can get it because we have no education to sound, or it's
Minimal.
Yeah, very minimal.
Yeah, so the senses. I mean, we're visual, but I actually encourage people to close their eyes. I mean, I'm a visual artist. Close your eyes and listen and touch and try to change your perspective. It's definitely an exhibit that you just can't come in the door, quickly walk through and say you've seen it. You have to live it. You have to slow down, and that would be good advice for all of us. We're just on a sort of a roller, what's the word, a treadmill, and it's just never stopping. And coming to NAISA is a way to become grounded. I think we need that right now in this chaotic period.
Human-induced climate change, including more frequent and intense extremes.
Are we collectively blind to climate change? And I knew what my answer was, but how do you translate that into a photo? And so I kept playing with the idea of blindness, and because I repeat myself, but we see what's happening, but we're not, I don't know, it's not resonating somewhere deep inside. It actually happened during the second year of COVID. I had an art exhibit in an artist-run art center in Rimouski in November, December of 2021. And on the day of taking down the exhibit, I arrived early, and I'm walking around the empty gallery, and I'm just looking at my work, and I just had this existential moment of like, I didn't really like my work. You know, it's never happened to me. And I had spent 40 years of my life as a documentary photographer. And I just told the director of the art center, I said, I don't know what's going to happen next, but I don't think I want to hang any more photos two-dimensionally on a wall and have people come in and, you know, keep their distance and say, oh, that's nice. What is it? And he mentioned it earlier. I didn't know that my next step was going to be to suspend from the ceiling, but that is actually what happened. I was looking for a different way to share my photos. But my photos also changed during COVID. I spent a lot of time walking along the shores of the St. Lawrence because of the, you know, what do they call it? Distanciation?
Yeah, social distancing.
Social distancing. And I had a lot of anxiety, not just about COVID, but also about the climate. And I won't go too much into the detail, but there was this moment where the sun was setting on the St. Lawrence. It was a day where there was no wind. It was actually on January 1st of 2020. So COVID hadn't truly started, but you'd beginning to hear about China. And no wind, no ice, beautiful sunset, completely, sky was just one of those bright red, orangey skies. because there's no wind, because there's no ice, the water of the St. Lawrence reflected perfectly like a mirror the sky. And I just had this freak out moment where literally I thought the fleuve, the St. Lawrence River was on fire. I mean, it was like I was not expecting that. And I couldn't, I was shaking. I'm shaking, and my hands, I've never had that problem, but I was trying to hold them still. And I first thought it was the cold, because it was January 1st. But no, I was just so upset. Like, collectively, we are not moving quickly enough in a certain direction to keep the temperatures down. So I was shaking, and I just started trying to take some photos with shaky hands, and they were all blurry. And I started delete, and then there were like one or two were like, that's kind of interesting. So then I started moving the camera, up, down, right, left, and most of them were too blurry, obviously. And over the years, I've perfected the movement. You don't need a lot of movement, just like that, or like that. But in the early days, I was doing this, and it was too much. And it's a technique that I did not invent. It's called intentional camera movement, or ICM. A lot of people use it. But I don't know of anyone who's using it to describe the climate, the rapidly changing climate. So, yeah, I use ICM all the time now. I rarely document things like I used to for most of my life, except for today. I was documenting the exhibit. But yeah, I'm really into this idea that everything is fleeting, everything is impermanent, and my photos are an expression of my eco-anxiety. That's it. And I know that we're different in that aspect, but we found common ground in how we view the situation of the ice. Because even in his case, there's less and less ice to record.
Yeah. I've talked about it all through the week, but when we got the idea to do this together, it was in the winter, and I say, now the weather is perfect for that, so I'm gonna do it right now. And also I have time to do it, because sometimes I can be quite busy, and I'm a musician. I can be on the road, so I went and do some recordings, and I had some nice texture and material to work with, and I was pretty happy with it. And the year after, our project was accepted in Vastevag, the art center in Carleton, where we first showed it, and I was very glad that I recorded the winter before, because that winter there was almost no day where there was enough ice around my place. Otherwise, I would have to roll like to Matan, or like to do lots of car to record the ice. So at first I didn't think that much about it, but it was like the perfect exhibition that, okay, my work recording winter sounds is transforming, because it's not the first project that I've done with winter sounds. And maybe some sound and some soundscape that I really love are endangered, because it won't be cold anymore to have certain sound of certain texture of snow and certain texture of ice. So maybe I'm recording a disappearing soundscape, and it's obvious when you think about birds and animals, but to have the soundscape of the geophony, I think the water and the ice can go into the big category of geophony, is changing. I mean, it's a big thing. And the first winter, after I recorded the ice, the winter after, I wouldn't have been able to. The winter after that, there was a lot, there was a bit of ice, but not that much. So, yeah, instead of having like a full month where you have the good condition, maybe it's going to be 1 week or 10 days or something.
And that second winter that he's talking about, there wasn't that much. I was invited for artist residency on an icebreaker of the Canadian Coast Guard, and we went to the Saguenay Fjord, and it was the warmest winter in Canadian history, and there was almost no ice in the fjord. And I was doing my ICM technique, and I was crying because I had this idea, maybe in my lifetime, we won't need icebreakers on the St. Lawrence. I mean, yes, we'll still need them up north, but I just felt something was slipping away right in front of us. And there was
melting away.
Yeah. I hope that anyone who will come to NAISA to see it will realize that this is a great exercise to begin to use our other senses to see the world, well, at least for me, to see the climate changing. But I think it's useful for all aspects, not just climate. We need to work on our other senses. I think it will help us make sense of the chaos that could be down the road. I mean, we're okay right now, but yeah, I'm wondering what the next chapter of our civilization is going to look like. And we're going to need all the help we can get: hearing, taste, smell, all of it.
Trauma from weather and climate extreme events, loss of livelihoods and culture, increased exposure to wildfire smoke, atmospheric dust, and
Human-induced climate change is already affecting many weather and climate extremes in every region across the globe. Evidence of observed changes in extremes such as heat waves, heavy precipitation, droughts, and tropical cyclones, and in particular, their attribution to human influence has strengthened since the 5th IPCC.